All right, we're still on 3.4 using the quadratic formula. This is video number 3. This time we're going to get 2 imaginary solutions. All right, so we're going to solve using the quadratic formula and check using our graphing calculator. So our graph should not touch that x-axis. So number 5 is negative x squared plus 4x equals 13. We need to get it to standard form by subtracting 13 to both sides, and we get negative x squared plus 4x minus 13 equals 0. So we need to list A, B, and C. A is negative 1, B is 4, and C is negative 13. Can't remind you of that quadratic formula enough. It is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now let's take our a, b, and c and plug it into that formula. So I get negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 4 squared minus 4 times negative 1 times negative 13, and that is all over 2 times negative 1. Now we can simplify this a bit. We get negative 4 plus or minus the square root of something all over negative 2. Plug everything in under that square root into your calculator, and you get negative 36. Well, I have a negative, so I'm going to have I in my answer, and I can take the square root of that 36. So I end up with negative 4 plus or minus 6i all over negative 2. Divide the numerator by the denominator, and we get 2 plus or minus 3i. So our x is 2 plus or minus 3i. So if you graph this, your graph should not touch that x-axis. Now pay attention, when I divided by negative 2, 6i did turn into a 3i. That negative is absorbed in the plus or minus. All right, let's move on to number 6. It is 5x squared plus 2x equals negative 1. We need to get it to standard form. So we're going to add 1 to both sides, and we get 5x squared plus 2x plus 1 equals 0. So we can list out our A, B, and C. A is 5, B is 2, and C is 1. Here's that quadratic formula reminder. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Take our a, b, and c and plug it into that formula, and we get negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 2 squared minus 4 times 5 times 1 all over 2 times 5. Now it's time to simplify that. We end up with a negative 2 plus or minus the square root of something all over 10. Everything under your square root, plug it in your calculator, and you get negative 16. Again, I have a negative, so I'm going to have an I in my answer, and I can take the square root of 16 and get 4. So I end up with negative 2 plus or minus 4i all over 10. And I can divide everything in this by 2, and I get negative 1 plus or minus 2i all over 5. So again, when I graph this and check it, the graph will not cross the x-axis because my answer is imaginary. It's negative 1 plus or minus 2i all over 5. And now you can go to your practice. Do problems number 7, 8, 18, and 33. I know you're jumping around